Hello sisters, how are you? I am so excited to be here with you for today's teaching, our sacred women principles and our sacred bodies. And so much has come up for me this week. But before, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Today is a full ceremony where we are going to break down this particular principle, and this is the last of this, it's not a series, I don't know what word to call it. This is the last week of teaching this principle. We're on to another principle for next week. Hi Susie, oh, I'm so happy you're here. At this point, I am going, good morning Diane. At this point, I am going to invite some women that I believe are part of the Sisterhood. If you feel, oh, maybe Facebook isn't, oh good, Facebook is letting me. So, if you haven't been with me before, for it's been a while, welcome. My name is Cheryl, and I have been called to be a global spiritual leader for I truly believe that we can change the world by starting at home. These principles came to me since I was 9 years old, and I stepped into bravery 3 years ago to be able to teach them after being bedridden. I want to also remember that I am here to inspire. So I have noticed a lot of people that are in the spiritual world and in the teachings are really looking for you to, or for someone to follow them. And so to do different steps, I'm going to give you tools for your tool belt, but please keep what you want and just leave the rest. I am only here for inspiration. As these principles live within me, they have the opportunity to live within you if you choose. So I just wanted to make sure that I think I'll talk more about that, or keep speaking that truth. We are sovereign, and we are here to empower one another and to inspire one another. And thank you for all the people, all the women that write and do posts on our tribe. I think it is amazing. All right, I am going to just invite a few more people, and then we will get started onto our ceremony. Just do that without, sorry guys. There it is, yay! Good morning. All right, so there's 12 principles, and this is our first of this series. I don't know how much I'm going to be going to the book that I write, excuse me. Sometimes I get, I think Marcia, hello, good morning. I tend to get, I think the trendy word is downloads. I don't really use that word a lot, but I got a lot of information that, so I don't know how today's ceremony is gonna go. It'll be fascinating and wonderful to find out though. So at this time, you may light, oh thank you Diane, Diane says bless you. You may light your white candle of unity. I like to start this ceremony with a white candle to remind us that even though we cannot be together in person, and this is virtual, that we are together in spirit, and it's battery powered where I'm outside. All right, and let us now let's be present in this teaching and in this ceremony. And again, just because we're not together under one roof, we are together through energy. And I feel you, and you are such an important part of this ceremony, because as you are connecting with me and hearing my voice, I am then able to connect, and yeah, it's very powerful. So thank you so much for being here. You are definitely contributing to this teaching, and once we place it on YouTube and especially on the website, other women will be able to learn from all of us also. All right, let us close our eyes and let's get connected. Take a deep breath in and really feel our bodies, remembering who we are, that sacred breath. Let us feel every piece of us, whether we have pain or happiness, uncomfortable or comfortable. Take another deep breath in. And as we exhale slow, I would like you to just feel supported and connected to all the sisters here on our Sacred Sisterhood tribe circle, that we are here together because we know that we can make a difference in this world. And even if our sisters aren't here with us in this teaching, we know that they are here in spirit. And our last breath in, let us connect to our highest, whatever that is. All faiths, belief systems are welcomed here. They all play an important part in inspiring us to be the best version of ourselves. Let us ask our highest helpers. All right, and you may slowly open your eyes. And let us say our Sacred Sisterhood prayer. Freedom of lineage. We are here to celebrate our connection to each other, our sacred cycles, and who we are. We are here to bless our paths as we become one by learning our sacred women principles. I ask all of our highest divine of love, of peace, of kindness, of joy, to awaken every cell in me and around me, weaving divine light and love and sisterhood. I am an empowered woman living her truth. Adorned and celebrating my feminine power, I see and am seen. I hear and am heard. I love and am loved. I witness and am witnessed. We are an infinite bridge between heaven and earth. Allow my truth to flow through me, opening to love in all ways. I am alive. I bear life. And I light the way. May we be at home in our wombs and free in our hearts as we walk in love. Ah, what a powerful, powerful prayer. So, like I said, I am not sure. Last week I announced that I might be stepping away from, I'm still going to be doing the writing, and I might check back with my book, but I'm slowly stepping away from going from what I'm writing and stepping into bravery and just communicating what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling and the lesson that I think. There is, I don't quite dare to make the announcement quite yet, but there is some women who are part of the sisterhood who are talk about supporting not me, supporting this sisterhood in its entirety and these principles, and going to help me put together some sort of book that people can buy that will help support the sisterhood, but also to use as a tool when we are in these teachings together. I can just see, sisters, so many things happening, and talking about our sacred body, the body of these principles, are so incredibly powerful. I've moved and grown and shifted through these principles, and I'm just so excited for you to experience the same thing. So with that, I am going to open the book, but I don't know how much I'm going to go for this book. So let me start out by saying I've just simply changed the chair, our perspective in the chair, and you are looking at, hopefully, you are looking at some berries, raspberries, and my garden's over there, and blackberries, and I thought really pointing in the direction of nourishment and food for our bodies would be a great way to be part of this particular teaching. Our sacred bodies. Oh boy. There is so much to talk about our sacred bodies, I'd like to share a story, 2 stories before we even get started. And hopefully this teaching you can bring into your own life. So the first story that I'd like to talk about is this week. If you didn't know, Roxy, she's my familiar, she's my fur child. And she is she's transitioning to the next world. And so I wanted to recognize, it has taken me a long time to get to this place, so the principles definitely have helped me with that, is realizing that isn't with our bodies, don't we take for granted our breath? And I really invite you this week, as you're really reflecting on your body within this principle, without breath we do not have life. And I think also, I have not been wearing a mask because I've chosen not to go anywhere. Tomorrow we see the vet on hospice care and pain management for her. And I will be wearing a mask. And that mask will be a reminder of how sacred my breath really is and how important it is to the world. And what that means, that's my voice, it's my breath, it's how I live. And so really focusing on every time you put on a mask, really focusing on your breath and how vital that is in your life each and every day, and how beautiful that breath is. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you, is in the first teaching, is really connect with your breath. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to go into a meditation. You don't have to do anything with it. Just breath. Why don't you, with me right now, please take your hand and place it right about to your heart. You can breath shallow, you can breath deep, you can just sigh. Just take a deep breath in. And exhale slow. That is how precious breath is. And so when we think about our bodies and we think about that sacred self, we feel that breath. We think about what we have done to our bodies. And I often think about the patriarchy and the distractions. And as social media kind of comes into my world at times, I'm really separating myself from that as much as possible, because I really enjoy connecting. It's my way of connecting. But I'm often seeing women once again abuse their bodies, put their bodies down, being distracted by things that they feel that are important, like focusing on weight or on one thing or another, and getting overtired, overstimulated, overwhelmed, doing a lot of work, working too much, not working enough, all of these things. And I think as women, whether we're mothers and we're caring for young children, we forget that how sacred our bodies actually are. And I know through my past, I've neglected my body. I've literally abused my body. I worked 7 days a week. And I put in 14, 16-hour days. And then was really mad at my body for not being able to keep up with it before I became bedridden. And then I was mad at my body that it was bedridden. I started my first diet when I was in 2nd grade. I remember sprinkling this disgusting powder so that food tasted really bad. And I would ingest it, so I'd eat less. And so much more. I remember running and how my body just hated it until I injured my knee. I did all the things that the textbook said, but the one thing I did not do is I did not listen to my sacred body. And it was not until I've listened to my sacred body is my body finally healing. Once I started realizing that this world is designed to distract us from who we are and from remembering who we are. We are women. We are powerful, and we love our men. We cherish our men. They are our support system. Once we begin as women to live in our sacred cycle, that 28-day cycle, whether you're still menstruating or not, you still have that sacred cycle. Whether you have your womb or not. Whether your breasts still produce milk or maybe they've never produced milk before. We are sacred. And once we come back to connecting to who we are messy, are wild, are free, are magical, a miraculous temple, will we continuously go upstream? Life will be hard. It will be difficult. It will be frustrating until we remember who we are and starting to honor our bodies for who they are. You could be in this deep spiritual amazing practice. You could have emotional intelligence. But if you are disconnecting with your body, if you are not connected to her, if you're just kind of going about the motions with her, you are still going to be paddling upstream. I would like to hear in the comments, sisters. My little phone's doing something weird, so I hope you're still seeing me. I would like to hear, what is your favorite part of your body? Do you love and cherish your hair? Is it your skin? Is it your breasts? Is it your butt? Is it your belly? Is it your legs? Is it your feet? I would like to hear in the comments, what is your most favorite part of your body? And even if you don't feel comfortable sharing them in the comments, think about that. And that is step number 1. Honor her. Honor that piece of your body. And as you honor that piece of your body, you will honor another piece of your body. If you would like to see peace in the world, you need to be at peace with your body. My hair, Marcia, yes. Susie, my eyes, oh yes, the temple. My mind, especially in my new crone phase, oh, crone phase, I love it. My wise woman. I love it, sisters. And honor that piece of yourself this week. And then I want you to honor another piece of yourself. Maybe the piece that you've abused and neglected. For me, it has been my stomach. I never had a stomach until after having Sophia. And my stomach was the cause of me doing crash diets and starvation and crazy dieting. I didn't eat fruit. The one thing that women need in their life is fruit. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. As soon as I added fruit back into my diet, I felt amazing. Yeah. And I want you to create a sacred practice when you wake up in the morning with your body. All right, I will give you my sacred practice for my body. And maybe this will help you. Maybe this will inspire you. I wake up in the morning and I take my coffee and I put in, I use the ceremonial cacao. And I just put in a few Right now, the cacao is from Guatemala, and this one company has different coffee for different chocolate for different things, and it's got the fat from the cacao in it, and I mean, it's amazing, ceremonial chocolate. And I put that in, and I come outside, and Sophia's now old enough where I can set her up in the morning, but I come outside on an empty stomach, and I give gratitude. I give gratitude for my breath. I give gratitude to the air and the fire and all the elements. I then give gratitude for Miss Roxy, that she's still breathing, and my family and my friends, and I keep with that gratitude. And I give gratitude to the animals as they visit me usually in the morning. I've had a frog come visit me, and it's a wonderful totem, and I believe that a message came this week with that frog totem, but he curled his arms up and sat beside me, and for one time this week as I was writing in the journal, he landed on my chest, and he just sat there on my heart side, and I thought that was really cool, and I just sat, and it was amazing. And again, how precious that I have a body. I have this spirit within and I have this body where I could feel the frog, and I could witness the frog, and I could be there. Without this body, I couldn't have that experience, right? Yeah. So I give honor, and then every time I take a sip, I honor a piece of my body. So I honor my stomach. Thank you so much, stomach, for being here with me. Thank you to my breasts. Thank you to my arms. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I remember at one point I couldn't use my arms, or like the pain was so incredible. So I sit here and I honor her. And then I proceed to, I guess you could call it yoga. I want to call it something different, but I use some of the yoga and I just feel my body and how it needs to move from being asleep all night. And so I'll start with my neck, and I'll go into my arms and my chest and my belly and my legs. And then my lower back has been bothering me, so I do some strength training on my stomach to help with my back. And so I skipped ahead a little bit. So I just sit, and once the cocoa and the coffee is completely gone, and I just sit, I then walk in and I'll grab, I really love spirulina and a green drink, and so I'll grab that and I'll come out and I'll do my stretching, and sometimes by then Sophia wants to join me and we have that sacred time together, and sometimes it's by myself. And so we have that, it takes about an hour, but we have that hour of me just honoring my body and for who it is. And when I eat delicious, amazing food, I'm not standing up rushing from one thing to another. If all I have time to is sit and eat a date, I will sit and eat a date and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Whenever I eat a meal, it's done beautiful. I make sure there's colors and it's beautiful and it's in a plate, and my husband will be like, why are you taking so much time to do this? And I'm like, it's an event. Like, food is an event for me. It's beautiful. It's not just physically there for me, it's emotionally there for me, and it's spiritually there for me, and it's entering my body, and my body is sacred, and I love her. I feel like I've just ran on and on. Diane says, would you please share the name of the chocolate? Yes. And I think it's going to be on the website soon too. It's Firefly chocolate, and if you order it, just the first order, I do get a small percent that I have it so that it goes towards my supply of chocolate. I will get you that link, and that would be so helpful to me, because I use this chocolate for me as medicine, for healing my body. And so every little bit helps me get to the chocolate. I think they give me like 5% off or something like that for my thing, and they give you 5% off. So, yay! It's amazing. I highly encourage to go with what type of chocolate you resonate with. I started with, it's called Connected, because I knew I needed to get deep into that first chakra and really do my shadow work and really have things come up. And we just entered the solstice in a very powerful time. I knew I needed to just clean some of that out, but now I've transitioned into this other type of chocolate that's more for wisdom and insight, and anyway, it's amazing. So that's what I do. And this isn't another cup of coffee. This is actually, I use, when I want something more, I use dandelion root and chicory root. And in my green drink, I also use mushrooms. So I really make sure that I am fully supported nutritionally, and then I use food as, is just as sacred. So that's what I do with my body. Now, when I'm in a certain time in my cycle, I might have more movement especially with Sophia. We might get into more play, and then later on in my cycle, I might get more into wanting to use more strength training and that sort of thing. I'll be offering a class on that again very soon. It's pretty detailed orientated, so I wanted to. So once you start really practicing and honoring your food and honoring what's going into your body, honoring your movement, women have forgotten that what's so amazing about men, and this is their time is different. So a men's hormonal cycle goes into this same 24-hour cycle, and it's amazing and it's wonderful and it's consistent. It's 7 days a week, which is why they're just such a good support system for us. They cradle us and support us, and oh, it's amazing. And you don't have to be romantically involved with them to have men in your life that are just amazing men. Like they're just amazing. And I know a lot of women who are not romantically involved with men that have men as that support system. And dads are a great example, uncles, family members, but also just like really good friends. And so they are that kind of consistency, right, of that 7 days a week. We don't live that style. Our brains don't even function at that level. We function within 28 days. We have longer stretches. So, for instance, their testosterone peaks in the morning. And so that's when high energy and all of that. Well, our follicular cycle, so what happens for them in a couple of hours, we are in days. Or towards the end of our cycle, more towards the luteal phase, our analytical, our problem solving. That's days, and for them they just have a couple of hours. So our time frame of how we do things isn't 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or that isn't even close to how we learn, how we work out. Our workout high energy is towards the beginning of our month. For men, it would be the beginning of their day. And our more weight training and strength training, that's in the end of our, hi Jacqueline, I'm so happy you're here. That's towards the end of our month. Towards the end of our month. For men, it would be towards the end of their day. So as women, it's so hard to, how do we break free from this 24/7 doing the same thing day in and day out? Because that is not our life. That is not how we are designed or supposed to live. Once we break free and honor who we are, our bodies, and that sacred cycle, we will then become more in line. We'll be paddling downstream. Everything will be really simple and it'll be easy, instead of paddling upstream where everything is hard. It's very important for women to eat our raw fruits and vegetables in the early part of our cycle. But as we get through the later part of our cycle, it's not. Where for men, again, it's different. And different isn't bad. That's why there's such a powerful support system. Oh, thank you, Diane. So it's so important to know that our men are so important, but it's also so important to realize that you are not supposed to do what men do. Our bodies are not designed to do that. If you're running every day, that is not supporting your body. If you're eating raw fruits and vegetables every single day throughout a month, that's not supporting our body. It's what we're trained, but that's part of the patriarchy, right? So again, if you want to learn more, please let me know. And this would be women even if they're not bleeding or before their bleed. So they could be young children, young girls. Sophia's actually, her homeschooling program is actually designed for, she's working within my cycle, but it's actually designed for her cycle, 28-day cycle. So I have her on a even though she's not bleeding, she's on this 28-day cycle because I know that she's going to have an easier time learning and absorbing the information. For instance, when I'm in my follicular phase, we focus on art, we focus on that sort of thing, because that's how her body is. That's her sacred self. We're eating fresh fruits, we're eating and we're eating fresh fruits and vegetables and all of that. And as we're getting into my luteal phase, we are now focusing her on mathematics, hardcore science. We're going to sit with a book, and that's where we're going to do our science. We're going to schedule out for the week. We're going to eat more cooked fruits and vegetables. And we're going to slow down. Instead of going out and playing in the field and kicking the ball and doing things with our physical body, all that playful stuff, now we're getting into the yoga and into the meditation and into the strength building that's on the later part of my cycle. And by her witnessing what that looks like, it's completely different than mainstream schooling. And this all has to do with our body, because as we are falling in line with our body, we're falling in line with our emotions and with our spirit. That is how we're honoring the sacred self. Susie says, thank you so much for clarifying this about men. I have been trying to figure this out for some time. Oh, awesome. Yeah, and they're so important because they're our support system. They are consistent day in and day out, right? Because their hormones are consistent day in and day out. So, which is why as women, yeah, it's a little bit, when we're in our luteal phase, are we there on time? Yes. Not in our luteal phase? Do we do just about time, or we feel like we're running late? It's because time is different. Numbers are different. All the numbers are different for women than they are for men. But men are so important, and we need that time. We need that direct so we can gather, right? Which is why the masculine is so important. All right, I again did not go to my book. I did not know where that was going, but that is our sacred body and self. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd like to answer anything that I can, and I will be offering a class again very soon about going a little bit deeper into those sacred cycles. But I'd love to answer any questions. So let us now walk into our sacred self and into our relationships. And boy, have my relationships, especially with my family, my mom in particular growing up, I think I've expressed a lot about how I started dieting at a young age, and how I really looked at my body. And I only looked at my body in that way because I listened to other people. And other people's significance meant more to me than my own significance. I was giving away my power. So when listening to other people, remember, every time you follow another person, you're giving away your power. Which is why I want to keep reminding women and reminding you as you come into this ceremony, I am only here for inspiration. You are sovereign. You are sovereign. Keep your power. Your power is yours. So as growing up, I just kept on listening. You're fat, you can't do anything. I was a dancer. And other people would be like, oh, you're such a great dancer. But then I would have the bullies, right? Or you need to lose. You would be beautiful if you just lost 10 pounds. Or on and on. And I look back at pictures now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was gorgeous. What were people saying? And I noticed as I'm getting older, to break that cycle has been really hard for me until my daughter. I don't know if I've talked to you guys about this, but how our relationships have changed is I happen to be married to a man, and I happen to have a daughter that look at my body as, oh my gosh, you look like a goddess. And you are beautiful. And there's times like I'll be getting changed, or I'll pop out of the shower and Sophia will be there. And she's like, Mom, and she'll put her little hands on her cheeks And you have the most beautiful body I have ever seen. Now, she hasn't seen any bodies, just mine and hers. But she just, oh my gosh, Mama, I just love your belly. I love your legs. I just love you. And she just wants to kiss me. And I'm like, and I have all from the conditioned body images. I'm like, oh my gosh. But as I've been teaching these principles to you, and as I've been working with and just being around Sophia and JD, is like, my husband is like, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. Doesn't matter what weight. And as soon as I was thought of, I need to eat a certain way and exercise a certain way, which never helped. I never lost weight, or, whatever. That stuff never works for me, or it works temporarily. But as soon as I started honoring my sacred self and started listening to people that empower me for who I am, oh my gosh, my relationship with food, my relationship with movement, my relationship with myself completely changed. How I dressed, how I looked, how I felt. So I want to express this to you right now. You are beautiful just the way you are. You're beautiful. Your weight is beautiful. Your hair is beautiful. Your eyes are beautiful. Your legs are beautiful. You are beautiful. Recognize that you are a goddess, just the way you are. And I can say it, and maybe at some point for some of you, you'll be like, yes, I am. And some of you be like, I hear the words, but I'm not feeling it. And that's okay. Try my morning technique, and maybe that will help, and create your own. So I'm just giving you some examples, but each morning, and maybe you don't have time in the morning to connect. Maybe it's at lunchtime. Maybe it's at dinner. Maybe it's at the end of the night. You don't have to do it with coffee and chocolate. You could do it with your favorite drink at night. I've been taking pure maple syrup with some lime and some water, and that's like my favorite evening drink. And I do connect with my day and myself that way. Do it however it makes you feel good. Okay, so when it comes to relationships, I want you to understand that how you see yourself is way more important than how anybody else sees you. Making sure that you are surrounding yourself with people that support you and love you and inspire you. So people that I have personally kept in arm's length, and not because I don't love them, I love them, but they're going through their own. When somebody reflects a body image to them, or gives information, or usually they have something going on within them. So, for instance, I have seen on social media, I've seen people say, hey, like, I'm really feeling self-conscious about my weight. And the response is, here's this diet. Here is what you should be doing. And they start listing things to diet, to do this, instead of saying, oh my gosh, you are beautiful the way that you are. And you know what? Your weight will just, if weight is keeping you down, or if that's a focus for you, play and have fun, and I'm here to support you and love you. So really making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that aren't keeping your energy down, that's really empowering you and inspiring you to be the best versions of yourself. Without your body, you couldn't hug that friend. You couldn't feel the grass underneath your feet. That's how sacred your body is. You couldn't taste that fruit or those vegetables. Yeah. You couldn't feel the water on your head from a shower. So just being really mindful of who you're around and help supporting you in who you are. I'm going to go to the book just for a sec, because I want to talk about the world, and I feel like I've just been going on, and I have no idea what I wrote. All right. Yeah, I think the big thing that I wanted to express here is, for the world, is, You know, for a long time, through our history, we believed that the world was flat, that the earth was flat. And it wasn't, and there's still some argument about that, but it wasn't for some time that we recognized that the world was round. And so this is going to be a brand new concept, and this came to me this week for the world, and something to really think about. For a long time, we believe that we're kind of that we're the center of the earth, that we are kind of the head people of the earth. And we do impact the earth quite a bit. But I want you to think about something, that maybe we are not the center of the earth. Maybe we aren't top dog. Maybe the earth is the center of us. And I think that's really hard, I think, as globally, when we're talking about our bodies and that sacred self, I think that's something that's really hard to maybe even think about. That maybe, hi Jenny, maybe all along, that we thought we were the rulers of this land, the rulers of this earth. Or maybe it's the exact opposite. What would happen to the world if we weren't here? What would the world look like? Now, what happens if the earth wasn't here? What if we didn't have the green grass and the trees? We didn't have the food source and the animals? Would we survive? So that is another thing I'd like you to think about as you walk into this week. How important this earth is to our sacred self. Just like the earth, I want you to remember who you are and how important this body is, just like the earth. What happens when this body is gone? What experiences would we have without this body? Yeah, pretty powerful. I want to do a special shout out to Rachel, Sister Rachel Sugar Mom, for one thing that she does. And if you feel called to do it this week, not only just on the Sisterhood, but also out there in the world, in your social media world, and who you connect with, I want you to be a leader in showing the world how you love yourself and this sacred body. She does so well with that. And I want you to talk about your sacred body, your sacred self, and all the things that you do with it, because you will help women break free and start connecting to her. And instead of women just going through the motions and day in and day out and just trying to survive, that by honoring this sacred body, by honoring our body as earth, by connecting with her for who she is, her body, her soul, her spirit, her emotions, she will be going with the flow, with ease and peace and comfort. But it takes us as this sisterhood, as this tribe, as this mission, to be able to go into this world and do this for other women. Yes, Jenny. Self-care, and let me talk about that. And again, I did not go to my writing today, which is so weird. Thank you, ladies, for allowing me, and whoever's watching, to allow me to step into bravery and not... I feel like I have to write it and read it because I get nervous still talking. I know this will be 3 years this year and I still get nervous. But Thank you for bringing that up, Jenny, which is why it's so important for you guys to understand that me talking, it's just not me talking. I'm connecting with you ladies, and you are helping me connect to the highest to be able to communicate with you. I wanted to bring up self-care is not selfish, and I wanted to bring up self-care, and I forgot to do that. Thank you, Jenny. Self-care has been hijacked. Remember that. Self-care has been hijacked. I have seen so many people talk about self-care and read about self-care. For instance, like even in New York, there was a billboard that said abortions were self-care. I've seen people say self-care, that their self-care that they went from, for instance, not running at all to now they're running 3 miles. I have seen people do diets that were really bad for their body. I myself have done that. All of this, actually. Well, not. Anyway, for the diet piece and the exercise piece for self-care. Going, I'm doing self-care. That wasn't self-care for me at all. That was actually harming my body. Self-care has been hijacked. So, this was a message I was supposed to give to you today too. Self-care is you connecting with self and honoring her. Meaning, self-care, if you are tired, you rest. If your body is stiff and hurting, you move her gently. If you're feeling itchy and you need to run and play, go run and play. If you are like, I can't do this right now, you don't. Self-care is you're eating foods that nourish not just your soul and your spirit, but really you're like, it nourishes your body. You're eating something, self-care is recognizing you're eating something and, oh, that's supposed to be healthy, but that's not really good for my body. This feels really uncomfortable, and not doing it again. Self-care is I need water because I need to connect, and you going in water. Remembering self-care looks different for you than what it does for your neighbor, or for the person in front of you, or the person behind you. Self-care for you is going to look different than the men that support you. Self-care for you is going to look different than self-care. Self-care is boundaries. No, I don't want to. My husband and I, we were working in the garden and there was something and I'm like, no, I can't hold that. That vibration's going to hurt my hands. That's self-care. No, stop. That's self-care. So I want you to be really mindful about self-care and what that actually means. That self-care isn't going on the latest diet, isn't doing a water challenge, isn't doing. Self-care isn't doing. Self-care is self. And caring for self. And listening to what self needs in this world. And what that looks like. Thank you, Jenny, for bringing that up. That was such an important message that I really wanted to get across. Because self-care, that word, has been so abusive in my life. And I know has been abusive in other women's lives. That I wanted to make sure that I got that in. Give me hearts if you really resonate with that message. All right. Ladies, remember, nourish your body with self-care. Nourish your body with fruits and vegetables. Clean water. Movement that feels good, feels right. Heal your body with plants. Ask for support when needed. Together we really can change this world. But it has to start with us, with ourselves. If we want peace in the world, we have to be at peace. If we want there to be no more war, no more chaos, we have to have no more chaos and no more war within us. Whatever you want to see in the world, you have to do you first. No problem, Diane. I love you. All right, that is the teaching for today. We're going to go into the prayer for healing, and then we're going to end with our song. If you have any questions, I started talking, and I hope I got basically everything that I had written down out to you. You guys, I did it. I stepped into bravery and just spoke and did not rely on my book, and I have never done that. And I'm just so excited that Spirit was able to come to me, and I was able to speak and connect, and hopefully you'll see more of that. So, all right, let us close our eyes and really let us take a deep breath in, and let us exhale slow, and just let us give thanks for this message of today. And let us take a deep breath in, reminding us how important our breath is. And let us walk into this week thinking about, as every time that we choose to put on a mask, if we choose to put on a mask, reminding us how sacred and beautiful our breath is, and how precious that sacred breath is, and why that breath is so vital for humanity and for us being here on earth. All right, I am excited. Marcia says, recipes, desserts, self-care. Perfect. Thank you so much for putting that link on, Marcia. All right. I can't wait to check it out. I'm excited. All right, let us do our prayer for healing. Source of divine love and the healing power of grace and of peace and of kindness and communication, I place in your gentle care a need for healing and the healing of my friends, my family, and my neighbors, and especially my enemies, right? They're enemies because they need love, and they're lost. I now ask you to heal our life, that we may receive your unconditional love and healing. Let us take a moment of silence and ask for healing for those in our life that we feel may need it. As we receive this amazing blessing, all wounds and pain are offered up to you. Thank you, our divine, as we walk in love. And now it is time for our sacred sisterhood song, Thanks to Twinkle from UU Women. I do want to end before the song. I am going to put together a sacred sisterhood market. So if you have a business, your business will, I'm new to everything. Well, I'm not new to making a website, but I'm new to this particular format. So I'm going to just do my best to organize it well over time. But there'll be products that I enjoy using. There'll be products from the sisterhood. And that way, people that are from the sisterhood can support sisters. And that's the purpose of the market on the website. So I'll be creating, right now I'm right towards the middle of my ovulation phase. So once I get really into my luteal phase, my brain will kind of flip over and really be able to make lists. Being in this ovulation phase, I'm still in that creative, kind of put myself out there kind of phase. So once I get into that luteal phase, you'll really see a list building. Right now it's more creation. So anyway, all right, we're gonna sing this song 3 times. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Last time. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Thank you, ladies, for being here with me. You are definitely connected to my soul. You guys keep me going each and every week. I want to put this towards the end. Not going by my book. It's almost like I'm a little scattered, and I apologize for that. I'll work on that some more in my own world. But I love this platform, but I want us an opportunity to really speak to one another and really gather somehow. So I think I am going to try to put together, maybe for this winter, maybe for this fall, a way for us to really gather together in a virtual circle and really be with one another, especially when I do this teaching. Just like when Jenny asked me a question, it was this, I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. And it was a nice reminder of what I wanted to talk about. And so it will also help me let go of me needing to conform to the book in that sense, and I can just really expand into spirit and really talk about what I'm getting for messages from the highest to be able to have a conversation with you. And so that's where, if you notice, I changed the name from the circle to temple to circle, because I think that's the most important part about what is how this principle is living within me, is I'm able to expand a little bit further out. So if you have any ideas, I know Zoom is an idea. I'm also thinking a membership platform of somehow. But I would love to figure out a way that we can have even more interaction. And I'm wondering, I know the lives are here great because you guys are actually writing things. Thank you for the heart, Diane. You guys are writing things down. And I hope as the years continue, I have a 40-year plan, so as the years continue, that can continue to happen. But I want more interaction. I want to be able to see your beautiful faces. I want to be able to us really be together in worship together. And so I'm just trying to explore ways of being able to do that so that we can connect even deeper. So if you have any ideas, please share them, and I can kind of gather what works best, and I will focus that energy in my luteal phase. Yeah, so it's perfect timing. I love you all. Remember, from the bottom of my heart, I truly believe we can heal and change this world because we're all willing to do the work at home by learning these Sacred Women principles. Don't forget to share on YouTube. Don't forget to like and share the videos. Thank you for being here and asking questions. That's the beautiful part about you showing up during the live streams, is that you can ask me questions and we can connect as a sisterhood. And I want to keep expanding and learning how to do that better and better for us. All right, I love you all from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you next week, and we've got a new principle. All right, bye guys, I love you.